Let's move on. We need to talk about the latest, of course, with Jacinta Nampijinpa Price, because this evening she gave that bombshell news that she was leaving the Nationals Party, going to join the Liberal Party, saying that she wants to help rebuild, of course, after the shocking election loss at the weekend. Here as she was speaking to Peter Credlin a little earlier.
Yes, I've always felt like the Liberal Party room is my natural home, given, the Liberal Party is the freedom party, the party of responsibility. Given the current circumstances, I think now more than ever, we need strong people within the Liberal Party. We need to be able to rebuild. We need to ensure that we don't lose support.
Now, she sort of foreshadowed this news earlier in the week, and you can imagine she has great leadership ambition. She is one of the very rare voices of reason in this country. Now, it has been reported that she could run on a unity ticket with Angus Taylor, who's set to be running for the leadership role of the coalition and running with her as his deputy. Otherwise, if not, of course, there's Susan Lee in play, possibly Dan Tehan. But you'd think with the star power that Jacinta Price brings, it's a pretty good unity ticket to be running on no matter what you think about Angus Taylor. The problem is, where does this leave the Nationals? The Nationals leader David Littleproud put out a statement this evening saying that he was very disappointed by the decision, but it was Matt Canavan. Earlier on, he told the Daily Telegraph he described Jacinta Price as being like the Lydia Thorpe of the Nationals Party, but here he was on Sharry and he didn't hold back.
She's doing this for her ambition. She's doing this for her. People are sick and tired of the rubbish, right? She's doing it for her ambition, and good luck to her. Good luck to her. But people are sick and tired of that. She's going to run for a party that she's not even a member of yet. She's not even a member of yet. She's going to run for the leader of that party. Just a week ago, Jacinta was using Nationals Party funds to be elected.
Now, I've got to say I was surprised by those comments by Matt Canavan. Why can't she have leadership ambitions? And who's to say that she won't do well? I think that Jacinta Price, as I said, is one of the only voices of reason in this country. She basically single-handedly won it for the No campaign during the Voice to Parliament referendum. She inspired Australians. And I also think that she is a leader who unites this country. She doesn't see us by the colour of our skin. She doesn't want to divide us by race. She says we are all one. She says we need to stand in front of the Australian flag. She wants to make Australia great again. Who would have thought? What a revelation, making Australia great again. But this is a woman that I honestly think people could look up to. Young women in particular can also look up to her. Now, the issue here is how this all plays out in particular with the Nationals Party. Now, if you've got people like Matt Canavan already speaking out, now, we know that the Nationals did quite well over the weekend in the election. The majority of them actually won their seats, except for Perrin Davey, for example. But they're the ones actually propping up the coalition at the moment because the Liberals have not done very well. Does this now threaten to put a split in the party, should she indeed run on this unity ticket? I'm not sure. I don't know where this leads the coalition, but that leadership showdown is happening at 10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So get your popcorn ready. But I think she would be brilliant. I honestly think she could be a future Prime Minister.
Well, here's my question. I'll ask you this, Liz. Are we a little hypocritical on this one? Because I imagine that you will say this is great. This is her opportunity to be thrown into national leadership, etc., etc. But remember Fatima Payman when she left the Labor Party? She'd been elected as a Labor senator, then went independent. And we all said that's wrong. If you're elected for a particular party, you shouldn't then switch. You're being dishonest. You're letting down voters. But now I suspect we're going to applaud Senator Price for doing the exact same thing. Is there a difference?
Well, I can't remember what I said about Fatima Payman, but she was kind of ejected really as well when it came to that Greens.
But we typically have criticised people who are elected to one party and then they move to become independents. What's the difference here with what Senator Price is doing?
I don't know that I have. I remember supporting Cory Bernardi when he split with the Libs because he'd tried for well over a decade to effect change within. He'd clearly given up. And that guy already had his own brand. And I argued then, I backed the Renegade. I was like, good on you. You already have your own brand. You think you can do better by Australia by making this move. And he had a good go of it until he just bowed out. But I would say the same of Jacinta. She thinks she can affect more change doing it this way. It's about the welfare of the nation. It's not just about, Canavan, which I found very disappointing. You know, I love you, Matt. I back you all the way. But on this one, I just thought it sounded like sour grape. She's still in the coalition family and in position like she may well go on to win with the Liberal Party. I mean, they'd be nuts not to give her a leadership position, even though she'd be brand new in the Libs. Although I dare say for most Australians, it would be a massive surprise for them to learn she's not a Lib already. I mean, most of us think of Jacinta Nampijinpa Price as already being a Lib. So she's coming home, basically. I think that's how most people will see it. But I got to say, personally, I'm disappointed because my dream team in about 2 terms' time was Prime Minister Andrew Hastie with Jacinta Price as deputy, because we know deputy must go to a Nat. That's the nature of the coalition agreement. So my dreams have been crushed today.
Can I just answer your question that you just about Fatima Payman and the difference? This is what I think. When Fatima Payman defected from Labor, she defected but was running on, in my opinion, not a platform for all Australians,
right,
because she was looking to put Muslim vote first. She was running on a platform to support Gaza, to support Palestine. Whereas Jacinta Price is running on a platform for all Australians.
Yeah.
And that is the big difference between Fatima Payman and Jacinta Price.
Well, the other difference is if you're moving from the Nationals to the Liberal Party, you could argue it's almost zero difference at all in terms of if you voted for Jacinta Price, you wouldn't feel like suddenly she's on a completely different platform.
Correct.
And my interests are not going to be represented the way I thought they would be.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just a different stripe.
Yeah, but it was very different with Fatima Payman because that wasn't for Australia First.
Yeah, indeed.